All right, thanks for joining us. We'll get started here. So I'll call this meeting of the Lake County E911 Authority to order at 10:06. It's November 7th, 2025. Does anybody have any changes to the agenda?
No.
Good, okay. So I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
All right, any further discussion? No, hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, move on to director reports. I'll start off, a couple updates. We're closing out a lot of projects. So the Motorola project is done. We've transitioned from setup into maintenance and just our go-to for information troubles and all that stuff. So we're creating those contacts now. Good to go there. And one thing I thought would never close out is the tower project. The state came in and installed their equipment. Everything should be good.
Nice.
We should have better connections now, and part of that connection with the state network. Gosh, I lost track of how many years that project's been going on, so it's really cool to hear.
Well, actually, it's
It's more than
way
that.
more than that, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
maybe 6, 7 years.
Close to 10.
Since 18.
Yeah.
So that's wild. Also, spoke with the under sheriff, the chief, and talked about, I don't know if you guys got the email, I think you did, I saw you replied, about the, releasing Lake Crip
Oh,
to
yes,
vehicles.
Yep.
So, we just wanna make sure that we have good accountability, to maintain the integrity of that channel. And, so I like the idea of just placing them in the vehicles, it's easier to track that, versus a bunch of individual radios and who has them and where they go and if they get, disposed of or whatever, so.
Yeah, and that's fine with me too, because most of the issues come from page to response, like to on scene, right? So
Water in the
once we're on scene, we can talk together, so vehicles are totally fine.
Okay, cool. So you guys should have that letter. I don't know who you work with to get your radios programmed, but that letter should give you the authority to go ahead and add that channel to your radios. So it's a good thing. I think that'll help communication and hopefully it's a good solution to the issues you guys have brought up about the communication aspect. So,
And we need to reach out to the sheriff.
yeah, he should have sent you an email with that letter attached, so you can share that letter with whoever
Yeah, we're already in motion for it.
Do you guys
We
use,
really appreciate that.
do you guys use communication solutions or?
We do.
Okay, let's combine and send them to them all at once.
Who's your person?
I can't think of the new kid, but he was up the other day.
No.
No, well, yes, Doug's the main one,
Who on your team does your communications? Oh, you do, okay. So it's, you work with Celeste?
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
Awesome. That's all I have. Yeah,
I don't have anything this morning.
okay. Let's go down the line here.
Nothing.
Candace, you have anything for us?
No, I don't at this point.
Okay. Sarah? Anything?
Just along with communication solutions, probably just do a joint one, cause they wanna talk about, school safe anyways. But Doug has some radio updates that we can do, so to save some extra money,
Correct.
might as well just have it all.
Cool.
We have a squad car down, so maybe we can get them up here to do this and take care of our squad car.
Sounds perfect, yeah. Yeah.
With that, Sarah, can we coordinate just through you?
Yeah.
Cool, sounds good.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, we'll move on to public comment. If there's anybody online or in the room that has public comment, it's not on the agenda. Now's the time we'll take that. Okay. Hearing nothing, we're gonna move on to new business and discussion with item number 1 is the authority, board will vote to go into executive session under CRS section 24.6.402 4F to discuss personnel matters related to the performance and workplace conduct of E911 Supervisor Paula Velasquez. So I will move to go into executive session under CRS 24.6.402 4F to discuss personnel matters related to the performance and workplace conduct of E911 Supervisor Paula Velasquez.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And Paula, do you want this in executive session or an open meeting?
Executive.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, yes, we'll do. Do we, I don't know if I have your phone number. Can I just
Yeah,
grab that?
970-389-0374.
Okay,
Right.
sounds good. And so, we're gonna ask everybody to exit the room initially. We'll contact you when, when we're ready to bring you back. Okay. And same with you,
And
Sarah.
Heath, are you gonna send around, or at least send me a Zoom link for the other, exec session?
I think what I learned is we can continue this recording,
Thank you, Sarah.
remove everybody from the room, and then there's a way to edit this video, so this section is different or redacted, I don't know.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah,
as
we can
long as,
just ask Sammy to cut this section.
okay, that works.
So let's go ahead and remove all the other attendants except for Wilson and Candace. So Danielle and Hunter, we're gonna have to ask you to leave the meeting at this time, or,
We'll send out notifications afterwards. Let someone do that.
okay.
There we
Alright.
go. Okay, yeah, so it should just be us.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna open the executive session. This is Authority Chair Heath Speckman, and the time is 12:10 on 10/12, thank you. It's November 7th, 2025. For the record, I'm the presiding officer of the board. As required by the open meeting law, this executive session is being electronically recorded. Also present at this executive session are the following persons, in addition to all board members, is Wilson Scarberry, our legal representation. We may call in Paula Velasquez and Sarah Baird, who's the director, but at this time, they're not in the room. This is an executive session authorized by CRS 246424F for the purpose of discussing personnel matters related to the performance and workplace conduct of E911 Supervisor Paula Velasquez. I caution each participant to confine all discussion to the stated purpose of the executive session, and that no formal action may occur in the executive session. And if at any point in the executive session, any participant believes that the discussion is going outside the proper scope of the executive session, please interrupt the discussion and make an objection. That's it for what I have to say. So I hereby attest that this recording reflects the actual contents of the discussion at the executive session and has been made in lieu of any written minutes to satisfy the recording requirements of the open meeting law. The time is now 11:15, and we now conclude the executive session and return to the open meeting.
Can you text me? Yeah, just tell them to get back on.
Okay, for the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meeting law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Okay. All right, seeing none, we're going to close out this item with a recommendation for Sarah as the executive director to review this and make a decision on the outcome of this investigation by the end of business next Thursday. Tuesday is a holiday, so we added an extra day in there, and we have some things we have to work with the legal team to provide some answers. But essentially what we're saying is you're gonna make the decision of the outcome of this investigation. Is that appropriate?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to the next agenda item, and so with that, Paula, we don't need you for the rest of this meeting. Okay?
So am I still,
Yes, we'll, yep, Sarah will be in contact with you, so yeah,
can I get my stuff?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
okay?
if you wanna wait outside here, we'll grab it for you after the meeting. 'Cause Sarah's leading this, next one. Yeah, if you don't mind, or we can just reschedule with you so you don't have to wait, and we can get you your stuff back later today.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get a hold of you, get you your stuff back.
Okay.
But yes, you're still on paid administrative leave until Sarah's made her decision.
Okay.
And then the next steps will take effect then.
Okay.
Okay?
And you can just leave that door open, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did somebody get a hold of Jackie?
Right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
And do we need to get a hold of Danielle and?
That's,
I'll let them know.
yeah,
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
yeah, she can get in, yeah, it's back open to public.
I just saw your email while I was on the hall this morning.
Okay,
So
I'm sorry.
that's quite all right,
Okay, I really apologize. Yeah, thank you for being here though. Wilson, thank you, sir. You're welcome to stay, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you need me for any of the remaining stuff, or I'm happy to dip if there are no more legal questions?
I don't, you're welcome to stay, but we will punch you off the clock though.
Okay, well, in that case, I will take my leave, and I'm gonna follow up with the county attorney, see if I can at least get an email his way and try to schedule a call so we can be ready to help Sarah next week.
Awesome, really appreciate you, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Good rest of the meeting.
You too.
Thanks, you too, sir.
Okay, alright, moving on to item number 2, which is E911 goals. And something I didn't share with you before is if you do you have something you would like on the screen, just let me know, there's a way you can get that up on the screen.
Can I send it to you?
No, but
No?
we can get it up on the screen, I think fairly quickly, if that's helpful, or you can just go off of,
I have it.
Alright.
I can always send it for the meeting minutes to be attached.
okay, sounds good.
Awesome. So part of, and you wouldn't have had to ask me anyways, I would have done it. But a 30, 60, 90, day goal, and then a year and 5-year plan. So really you wanna start, the first 30 days obviously is a lot. It's a lot of meeting people and getting to know where we're at. So I kind of broke it down by themes, right? So the first 30 days is listen, learn, and evaluate. So some of my key objectives is understand our current operations, that's reviewing our center's policies, SOPs, training manuals, our quality assurance process, and shift schedules. Assessing our CAD, radio, and 911 systems functionality, maintenance, and vendor contracts, which I've already begun both of those items, as Jeremiah has already heard me ask about radios, and the sheriff does as well. But really kind of breaking down into that, obviously part of the delay in the first 30 days is getting access to everything, so working on all of that. And then observing each shift for workflow, call volume patterns, staffing coverage, and conduct baseline performance and call volume analysis. Second objective is building our relationships, so meeting individually with all of our dispatchers, supervisors, and key partners, so each one of you guys individually. I have met several people who have come in to say hi, kind of got some good feels and ideas from them as well, from your guys' agency specifically. Establishing an open door policy, which has already pretty much been established. Everybody's been coming in, which is awesome, I love it. And then really getting to know the field units. I'd like to attend one roll call per discipline. I'm gonna see how you guys break down that communication and work with your teams. And then that way they can put a face to the name as well. Identifying immediate issues is my third objective, so really creating that top 10 priority list, which I've already started. Reviewing any outstanding deficiencies we have in our call taking process, pending complaints or audit findings, conduct a facility walkthrough for security, which we're already kind of working on with the new build anyways, so I'm kind of just merging those together. And then my fourth objective for my first 30 days is administrative foundations. So just verify current budget status, which we're already going through, grant opportunities, contract renewal dates, review our state NENA, next gen 911 compliance requirements, and evaluate our staff certifications and recertification deadlines, because I'm sure those will be coming up for them as well. So that's really kind of my first 30 days. We'll have a 30-day status report, operational snapshot by the end of this, immediate priorities. Big one, as just right before I started, there seemed to be some calls that came in about contact lists for like the mines, just making sure all of those kind of contact lists are up to date with accurate personnel, both internal and external agencies. And then doing that priority improvement log was my first 30-day work. So any questions on that?
Have you ever worked with Everbridge?
I sure have.
Do you know how to activate it?
I do. I'm a big Everbridge fan. I told Candace that in some of my interviews. Please don't get rid of it. it is way, way user friendly. I worked on it both as the user in a hospital setting and in one of my previous agencies for dispatch. So I know its capability. That's one of the big things that I've been asking is, do we have evacuation zones already identified? And are they identified in Everbridge? So when dispatch does it, it's just clicking a zone. So we'll be doing some additional trainings on the dispatch side, which includes iPOS testing. So, yes,
Sounds good.
yeah.
What an answer.
That's a good answer.
No, I am a big Everbridge fan. Do not ever go to Expeditors, and I'm not a huge fan of Code Red, which I've worked in several agencies that I've used that, so.
And I understand we're probably not using it to its full capacity also, which we'll be able to
Yes.
learn more about.
Yeah, and so I've already kind of talked to the sheriff about that. I know right now it's with Public Works. I understand why. So we'll be working with them to just see how we can improve that, and getting our dispatchers all trained up to utilizing it better. The other cool thing we can do with Everbridge is get a QR code for it. And so when we're doing public events, if that's something that we want dispatch out there involved with, getting people signed up for Everbridge, we can create a QR code so they can just scan it right then and there. We can actually get them logged in. We can bring out a computer and actually get people registered.
Can I pause you for a second? Jeremiah, can you let the two people know?
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
No,
No,
absolutely. They're kind of important.
Yeah. Just a bit.
Yeah, so something that we can start looking at is getting kind of that out there and having dispatch kind of be the ones to lead it, and get people signed up, which I've done, so.
Great.
I'm really good at talking to people.
Perfect.
My next 31 to 60 day strategy development really is align, plan, and strengthen our core operations. So operational policy improvement, we're really gonna start standardizing our call taking and our dispatch SOPs across all 3 disciplines. I've already started our SOP process. I'm currently in the Fs. I've gone through our entire problem natures and we're looking at getting rid of some, we're looking at adding some of them are kind of duplicates. So really getting that kind of standardization across all boards. Once I complete each discipline's SOPs, they'll go to you guys for review, just to make sure we're not missing anything critical on the dispatch side when we're call taking and note taking. But that's a big undertaking. So again, I'm only in the Fs, which is all fire pretty much for Fs besides follow up. But working through that, identify and update our outdated policies, so pursuits, domestic calls, tow downs, and all of that's gonna kind of depend on your guys' policies to make sure that ours align. So if you're in the middle of it, I'll wait till you get your completed policies updated so we can align those more appropriately. Kind of like your Mayday one, I know you guys are in the process of that. Again, quality assurance, review process using call evaluation forms, develop training matrix for all personnel, that includes EMD, CPR, and FEMA compliance. I know we are in the midst, I have reached out to Priority Dispatch for a quote for EMD, International Academies of Emergency Dispatch, to see what that would cost initially.
Can you explain that a little bit?
So basically, International Academy of Emergency Dispatch is an overarching government agency that has both EMD for medical dispatch, FD, EFD for fire dispatch, and EPD for police dispatch. They have set questions and chief complaints that the dispatcher can activate and follow based off of what the reporting party calls to them. They then get graded on that call, so there are determinant codes that come out from each call. And so really looking on the EMD side of it to get us going, it also will provide better patient care to our community. We can start those processes. You can get CPR, hands on chest in 30 seconds or less. It documents everything. It really kind of fine tunes that dispatch, but it really starts patient care the moment they call 911. And that seems to be something that we're struggling with right now. I know half of our dispatchers are EMD of Colorado, but we don't even have the foot books, so we can't even actually truly EMD those calls. So really what it does is when you open up the call and you say it's a medical, tell me exactly what happened, the caller will tell you based off of what the caller's saying, you then go through a list of questions. The goal is within 2 years after starting this is to then apply to get ACE accredited, which is a national recognition to our agency that we are the best rural agency, right, with EMD calls. We're graded at a certain level, we're held accountable, but we get additional trainings with it, and you get continuing dispatch education through it. And so it's really gonna kind of fine tune our agency on the medical side of it, to get those calls going, to be accountable, and really start that patient care, which is really what I'm aiming for, right? We wanna be able to provide callers how to do stroke diagnostic, how to do CPR, how to control bleeding, and not be health liable, right? This is kind of the big thing. We want our dispatchers to be covered, but we wanna have our community feel like we're doing the best we can, and especially if we have delayed ETAs, things like that. So that's kind of what EMD is in a nutshell. But it does a lot of cool things too, right? So we can register AEDs throughout the entire county. So if the caller is near an AED, it will pop up and the call taker will advise them where that closest AED is located. So any AED we have, we can register within that system and it will provide that information to dispatch. There's other things that you can do, obviously, and then there's the police and fire side. Not looking at those right now, just because I personally feel like those are ones that you have to freelance on a little bit more, and because EMD Pro QA has very strict guidelines on how to ask questions, you do get penalized if you don't ask them right or if you change the meaning, and we want to make sure that we're succeeding. And so starting with EMD just to get that process going, and if it feels like, hey, we could really use that structure in other fields, then yeah, we can look at expanding. But so that's EMD in a nutshell. Any questions on that? Awesome.
And so I really felt like international, or whether international EMD?
Yeah,
International?
IED was the overarching.
Yeah, was way better than India, Colorado, so.
Yeah,
It's a better standard than India, Colorado, so.
It's pretty much the golden standard. What's really cool about it is, it's the only recognized EMD program that takes considerations in growing. So if we find during a call that something's wrong with it, or, we're not getting the right response, they do studies on it on their end, right? So we can report it to them and they can change how questions are asked or orders or anything like that. And then they base those studies and put them into education, right? So anytime there's updates to the system or to a problem, they send out that and then every dispatcher gets new training on it.
So, we're obviously working on the budget here now.
Yes.
Do you have like an approximate cost on what that would be?
Yeah, so it ranges, right, and it's just how quickly you move with it. It's a yearly fee that you have to pay for, which is around $30,000 annually. But that's again based off of all of them, right, so it just really is dependent.
That's the full package?
Yeah. But yeah, so I've reached out, they've got my request, I'm just waiting to hear back from somebody directly. Any other questions on EMD? So, and the only other big thing then is training you guys what those determinant codes mean, right? So really it gets aired out, female parties having a breathing problem coding out as a 6 delta 2. Well, that determinant code is really more vital to EMS. Understanding what that is, it goes into their documentation, because then it's, well, actually, really that person was having a botulism incident and not a stroke, right? And it's an education and kind of findings for that. But really what we determine it as actually impacts how you guys respond, and then from there to the hospital. So if we can predetermine that it's a stroke and there's clear evidence of a stroke, it's gonna just improve that response all the way down the line from the dispatch side.
So there will be a higher cost associated with that, but I think it'll get us a much better product is the end point.
Yeah. The other great thing is it's all internally, we have hard copies of the questions like you would with the Indian Colorado Flipbook, but it's all computerized, right? So all of those key questions and answers get dropped into CAD as they're working through it, because it's all through the system, which is super good. Staff development retention, so again, along kind of those lines of trainings, I did get a quote for critical testing. That is a hiring process, and I think that's, I don't know if you had that separate, or not. on the agenda.
Not on the agenda,
Okay.
so if you wanna talk about it one
So really what that is when we have applicants, we can review their initial applicant. If we say, yeah, we wanna move forward with them, we can then send them a link to what's called critical testing, which is a dispatch form of multiple tests. There's personality tests, there's typing tests, there's how do you prioritize, like you're doing something and then you've got all these calls for service for police, fire, utilities, EMS, and you have to appropriately assign them within a certain time frame. Directions, it tests how can you give directions, so it gives multiple tests really that puts you in the dispatch world, right? You're doing multiple things at once and how well can you multitask, can you type fast enough? I've used it in just about every agency I've ever applied for. I'm really good at taking the test now, so, but what it does is it weeds out a lot of people, right? Applicants that aren't really truly interested in being a dispatcher, 70% of them will quit the test right off the bat, because it takes a couple hours. It's very time consuming and it's very in-depth. It is roughly 2,800 a year for it, but we can send it to 1 million people if we wanted to, if we had that many applicants. You can send it to anybody across the world, or we can have them come into dispatch and take it personally. You can also have it proctored, right? So that's an option through them to have the test proctored if they're from their home doing it. It just really kind of hones down and picks really good applicants, right? And we wanna have the best of the best in our dispatch center. And those that make it through the testing, they're probably more legit, right? They're really wanting to get into dispatch. They're dedicated to the actual process, the hiring process.
And remind me, that includes Spanish testing
Yep.
also, right?
Yeah, so it does. It will also confirm if they can speak a foreign language and qualify them that way as well. EMD also has the option to do if we say, yep, they are also dual language, they have that ability in EMD to then ask those questions in that specific language as well. Which is great for those that speak different languages. So that's kind of really the goal on that. Staff development, retention, again, I'm looking at starting one-on-ones next week, but I'm looking at doing them quarterly moving forward. So we will have one-on-ones quarterly with all of our staff. Implement that shift communication log or internal newsletter, kind of wanting to make sure we're really transparent, right? From my level down and my levels down up. There should be no surprises in dispatch. And then that career development plan with achievable milestones for dispatch. So I've already kind of talked to the sheriff about this, but looking at revamping our steps so that they have goals to continue to work with us. Kind of like not just, oh yeah, you've been here for 2 years, you automatically get this, but what have you done back for the agency? Is that additional trainings you've taken? Are you focusing on something specific in the dispatch world? Like I went from really loving the EM stuff and I was told, well, we already have somebody doing that, so what else are you interested in? And I went tactical dispatch and crisis negotiations for dispatch, right? So looking at that and getting our staff kind of where they want to kind of go with dispatch, right? Because there's so many avenues in a small dispatch center. Continue our technology data systems. GIS accuracy seems to be a big one, so that's definitely on the 60 days plan, working with Flex and all of them, which I had a meeting with today to kind of start talking about some of the things, and then partnerships and public safety integration. So waiting for OEM to get hired on and up to speed with all of their things that they have, but really start engaging with our state 911 board, regional advisory groups. I know the undersheriff and I will be taking a little tour to Grand County since they're through Flex and kind of get some of their things, but the goal is really to kind of pull a regional, so Park, Lake, Chaffee 911 together and talk about trainings together, or how can we communicate better between all of us. Kind of looking at that, MOUs that we might need to have in place. Especially, it seems like our 911s aren't automatically rolling after so many calls. So probably need to look at that and who should they really be rolling to for that safety. So that's in the next 60 days. Really our next 90 days is just act, measure, and lead forward. So implement structural improvements, long-term strategic planning, performance and culture, community and public relations. So really start looking at our budget for next year. Well, it's really every quarter at this point, just because there's so many changes, but, already kind of develop a one-year strategic plan, so if we go with EMD, I've already kind of did a 2-year plan and how that would roll out, what that looks like, and really get that accreditation by year 2. And then start working with our systems, and just really just the big one, right? CallWorks doesn't wanna seem to be communicating really well with Flex. The mapping doesn't seem to be interfacing very well. Just kind of getting those fine tunes, which I think will help tremendously on the dispatch side, so. Any questions on 60, 90 days?
Are you gonna go away from, an all hands on deck meeting with everybody, or are you gonna continue with that?
No, I like the staff meetings, we'll probably keep them monthly for the rest of this year for sure. May drop to quarterly, but I think that will be dependent on where we're at with trainings and how our staff is feeling with all of the changes, cause it's a lot of changes. On both my side and theirs, right? So yeah, I think we'll continue with the monthly staff meetings, for now. And I just think it's good, cause then I can see everybody at once, is kind of the goal. Really, my 1-year goal statement, is establish a high-performing, fully staffed and integrated regional communication center that delivers consistent, reliable, and professional 911 services across all disciplines through operational modernization, training standardization, and staff engagement. So basically taking all 90 days and continuing it throughout the rest of the full year. Hopefully by then we'll have EMD, all of our SOPs will be completed. We will have set questions for every problem nature that you could ever want, that they'll have to open and ask on every call for service that we get. And then just really getting that into the CAD system, integrated into there. Any questions on the year goal? Okay, there's way more in it, which is why I wanna make sure he has this for the meeting minutes. So, really the 5-year plan, really should balance our long-term modernizations, professional growth, and sustainability with community trust and regional integration. So really transform Lake County E911 into a state-recognized model of rural communications excellence, equipped with next-generation technology, a fully trained and resilient workforce, and seamless interoperability across all 3 disciplines, as well as regional partners, delivering trusted 911 services to every resident and every visitor every time they call. So that is the 5-year goal, and we will get there. So, any questions?
Will there be a strategic plan?
There is. It's all listed here. I don't know if you really want me to go into detail about it, but I can.
No.
Okay, it'll be in the meeting minutes, you guys will have access to that.
Yeah, we could make the agenda item for later meetings.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Lot to do,
Yes.
so please let us know what you need. We wanna support you in every possible way for success.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the big things that was asked of dispatch was trainings. So I think that starts with getting all of our SOPs in order. Key questions, kinda told them, we're all starting here together, right? I'm in training as well, so it's not just them. Once we get up here, we can branch out, but look at doing in-service trainings with you guys is really, really huge for them. Getting to see the side from you, right? Simple as learning to how you guys do felony stops, or how you guys do certain medicals, or respond to a structure fire, right? Really getting to see it from your side, because it makes more sense on our side when we're like, well, they're not answering. Well, this is probably why, right? But we wanna start with our internal stuff. We wanna get our ducks in a row before we can start doing what I call fun trainings. And get them to understand the importance of it, so yes, I will be reaching out to every one of you.
Outstanding.
No, it's great, really need that vision and the skills and ability to execute it. And full faith and trust that you'll be able to do that, and like the chief said, on the same, for as much help as you need, as much as we can do. I would like to talk a little bit about connecting you two and let you guys run with that, and if you need something from me, let me know. Full confession, I'm terrible at emails. So,
I'm terrible at checking them before I get in the
Yeah.
car.
you need something reviewed or signed or, you know, I know I owe you some documents, so.
No worries,
Just,
no worries.
so I apologize. But yeah, if you guys need to get ahold of me for anything, so we can get the ball rolling with you. It just seems like just a wonderful match to really take us to the next level, so thank you to both of you. That was great. I did make just a side note, I was down in Alamosa for the past few days on a training, and that's where, and it's at the 5 Adam Troop Office for CSP in Alamosa, which is also the center for, Regional Communication Center with CSP, and they lost track. They're like 67, 68 agencies, I mean, it's not much bigger than this room, and they're just rocking and rolling in there. So anyways, I talked to them, got some point of contacts. I was able to talk to their GIS guy, and they're working all the way up to Chaffey County. So I got the phone numbers if that's helpful at all. I know they're not working GIS in Lake County, but pretty dang close. And so just trying to get some contact for you. So I'll share that with you. If that's helpful at all. Yeah, anything else?
I should know, I've reached out to Motorola already to talk about additional channels.
Okay.
As well as tones, tones for both OAS in progress, coding the channel, as well as Mayday tones. So that we'll have way more capability on our radios, which I know we have, we just aren't really kind of set up there, but yeah, we'll be getting more channels. And I know we'll be discussing crypt.
Okay, sounds good. Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions. Yeah, thank you for that. Okay. We will move on to the next agenda item then, which is a discussion and consideration for our 2026 budget. I'll leave that. Can you go to the email? It should have the document attached to the email. Yeah, because I think it's
Sheriff, for your budget, the tariff amendment of the state to provide GIS routing is official now.
okay.
It went into effect November 3rd,
Okay.
and that billing will start sometime at the beginning of the year as they bring people on.
Okay.
And the most important thing, GIS wise, is PSAP boundaries. They had asked for our boundaries, a lot of us turned in county boundaries,
Okay.
but some counties, of course, take other pieces of other counties. And so they're looking at PSAP boundaries, just so you know, that's in the works on a statewide basis, and your budget for 911 will go up above.
Okay. Do we have any information on how that will, or I guess, will that, so that'll affect our 26 budget?
It could affect your 2026 budget by $152 per concurrent session per month. How many concurrent sessions do you have?
I don't know.
How many 911 lines do you have?
Oh, I think only
Two?
two.
Okay, so 152 a month times 2,
254 or 2?
That's per month though.
that's per month.
Just over 300. I'll have to double check that.
$152.
'Cause I
I just
see-
wanted to let you know that
I know
before
they
you went
have-
into your budget.
Yeah, I know they for sure have at least 2 lines, but they might have more, so we'll have to check that.
Double check that. Most smaller centers were required to get 2 lines,
Yeah.
so, that's that, and, the other piece of that is in turn, the state 911 money that you receive from the state should offset that.
Okay.
I don't know if we can handle $200 a month.
It's
Put us under that.
You said 152 was the precise number.
152 and
Per
some
line.
cents.
And
So
so,
per concurrent, sorry,
Yeah.
just 2, so
okay.
3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right, so I think a couple things came out of this meeting that we can talk about, add into the budget, quick the budget, and if we're comfortable by the end of this agenda item, we can go ahead and approve it. The hope was to approve our budget so we can get our final numbers to the county approximately a little over a month before they need to approve theirs. They'd be very grateful for this, I'm sure. So hopefully we can work through that today. So there's a couple things that were changed since the last time we met. So we discussed the utilization of some of our fund balance up to $230,000, so that's what the revenues will now expose, or is listed here on this. Emergency telephone charge is still listed at the 217, projection, that we came up with. The $230,000 use of our fund balance, and then the IGA split. So with expenses set as they are now, and the one thing that is not listed in the expense was, Sarah reminded me, we did critical, and what was the other,
It's Power DMS, actually, so agency 360 is Power DMS.
okay, so agency, so we included those two in these numbers, which was approximately $4,800, but I think critical, we didn't have the quote on, is that the one we didn't have the quote on
No,
yet?
Power DMS.
Oh,
I don't have
we
it.
still don't have it, we expected that to be around $2,000, so I included those two, software, components into this, dues, dues and subscriptions. So that was one change. The one thing that we may want to entertain today, and we can look at some numbers, is do we want to budget for the EMD annual subscription cost of $30,000 that we talked about? We don't have a final quote on that.
I think for the purpose of today, if we're trying to pass it today, I think we wait and do a budget amendment afterwards.
Okay.
So that's done, cause if we don't have an official quote, then we don't have exact numbers, it's kinda useless anyways. So let's pass it today, we'll do the budget amendment later when we have more information. That way county has this, we can change it with them later, fine with that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into expenses, that was the big one, and I think we talked about this last time, if you can, and I still have maintenance spelled wrong at the bottom. Correct. I'll correct
That's a
that.
tough one.
Yeah, it's spelled right here.
I know. Just, at least one of them was right.
Maintenance.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, it's with an accent. So that used to be where we housed Motorola, because it's a maintenance agreement, however, it's related to the software and it's an annual thing, so we moved that up into dues and subscription, so that's why that was zeroed out, and I think we talked about that last time, but just wanted to recap on that because it's just a shift, so if you see dues and subscriptions from prior years in comparison, it looks like a significant increase, but that's the why, I just wanna keep touching on that. The professional services we talked about, and the significant increase there, and compared to prior years is because of the services Jackie's is offering us. And we made adjustments throughout. When it comes to the benefits, these are numbers that I've worked with finance on creating those exact amounts. The plan is today, later, to meet with finance to make sure that we're all on the same page down to the penny. And so that way the counties, so exactly what we approved today.
Speaking of overtime, I would like to request that we keep it like that.
Okay.
We will be switching to tens.
Okay.
Staff will be told this month, we'll be going live in January.
Okay.
There's two schedule options, one will cut overtime in half a month of what we're paying right now. The other one cuts down to just 12 hours a month,
Okay,
and what
great.
we pay a month for total staffing.
Sounds
And
good.
that's with current stuff, you'll have to
That's
hire.
with current staff.
Oh,
Damn.
Okay. Alright, fair.
But
2 weeks in and
Yeah.
already getting everything like.
that's 2 months from now,
Yeah.
and anything can happen, so I just ask if we can keep the.
You got it, yeah, we can reevaluate that in 27.
Perfect.
Besides misspelled words, does anybody have any questions about, I know we've been over this quite a few times at this point, I just wanted to point out a couple of the minor changes that were made recently. And then in the bottom, we, and some of this is estimation because we haven't closed the year out yet, of our fund balance. We're estimated to have an $800,000 fund balance at the beginning of 26. And that's where we, as we discussed last time, pulling some of, utilizing some of those funds to cover our expenses. And, but it is listed in the revenues, so we have this balanced budget presentation, presented today. And if we end up using all the expenses by the end of 26, projected fund balance will still be over $500,000. And those are just projections.
I can't remember, do we, in future years, do we have things in capital improvement? I realize that this year's, we don't really know any, we just upgraded everything.
Right.
But is there money moving forward that we're gonna put towards that in future years?
We did at one point, so it was a thing, so, we're back and forth with Motorola was the big one.
Right.
And, when we first received quotes for our new radios, it was the Access console. Access hadn't been approved by the state yet, and they said you have to buy the MCC 7500s. And then through the different delays that we had, Access came back online and we're good to go. And it was a $15,000 increase into our budget. We had it covered, so we have the Access consoles.
Right.
We did budget for this in '28 when they said, hey, in 2028, you're gonna have to go to the Access consoles and the rough projection on changing radios out was $150,000. So that has been removed and we don't have any other capital improvements scheduled at this time.
What about the recording device?
So,
That was about 8,000.
Call work.
yeah, I think what we need to do is check, I can give you some background on that, I think we're good, is my understanding. This is, again, one of those, like, for me, my simple brain, high-tech stuff that I don't quite fully understand, but I was in the conversation, like a fly on the wall, not understanding anything, is what it felt like, between Motorola and Communication Solutions. And they were talking about the recording device and how it needed to be IP based, and Motorola Solutions says it is, or not Motorola, Communication Solutions said this is IP based. And it was kind of shocking to Motorola, so Motorola had brought that conversation to probably Chelsea and Paula, who were communicating to us that we needed this IP recording device, and then, surprised we had it. So, Motorola didn't realize that we already had that piece of equipment in there. And so Matt from Communication Solutions has, confirmed that we had it. I think he shared those licenses with Motorola to make sure everything looks good to go. So I think at this point, I think we're good, we don't need that upgrade, that we talked about before.
I remember just vaguely on the conversation though, we had it, but it's almost outdated.
Correct, and that was because they didn't think it was an IP based, and it is.
Okay.
So that discussion was revolved around, just some inaccurate information basically.
Okay, okay, great.
But I think it's worth following up with them to make sure we're good on there.
Flex was saying in the server room, well, three things, I guess. I have to check something in the server room, that's why Flex isn't communicating to State-Link, but she was saying as far as capital improvements for dispatch specifically, there are several monitors that are way overdue, and the camera system is about to collapse.
Okay,
So just something to consider.
okay.
I know she had mentioned to you the camera system should be in the infrastructure when we do the rebuild.
Mhm.
But if it collapses anytime from now until then,
Okay,
we're gonna have an issue in dispatch.
And your phones,
She did not mention the phones were outdated, but
are you on call works?
we are on call order,
They're outdated.
then they're outdated.
Well, and this is kind of what I mean, right, is we're like, fine with nothing going in right now this
Right.
year, but like moving forward, we should start putting things at least towards it, so that in 10 years when we need that big thing again, that 150 is there, right, so.
yeah, no, I agree, and we, in consideration of using some of our fund balance, if you guys recall our earlier numbers, we had about $500,000 to play with to keep us at least at what our policy recommends is 3 months of operating cost. And we're only using $230,000 if we use all our budget. So we still have, if something does pop up and we need to use your fund balance or something like that. But I think not to ignore your point here, we definitely need to start talking about those things because I wasn't aware of all that and we didn't plan for it. But I think we're good with the fund balance.
Is there gonna be any expense on our end for any of the remodel?
No.
Okay.
Good call though.
Yeah.
I have none of that.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a $50,000 bill, we're like, what? Yeah.
Will you have to move phone lines or Motorola stuff, and they're online to do that?
Yes, and so that's a good point because there will most likely be a cost associated with bringing people up to redo things. So I don't see that happening next year, even if everything goes smooth with construction. And my hopeful thoughts behind a phased construction project, probably not get to the dispatch center in 26. So maybe as a to-do item is we need to get a hold of Motorola, maybe get some quotes on be like, or with whoever moves phone lines, and let's start working on numbers on what that will cost. Candace, you still on the line?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get myself off of mute.
Any thoughts on the budget?
I think this looks great. I know that you and Will, and I'm gonna jump on there for a little bit, and I are gonna look at things this afternoon. But otherwise, I think that looks just fine. Just trying to really get these numbers dialed in and finalized so we can have it before we have to vote on ours. Of course, whatever we vote on at the end or at the beginning of December is what we have to turn into DOLA. So just trying to make sure we get things timely so that we don't make any mistakes. I think last year we had some crossed wires on the budget and we don't really want to go through that again. I was really excited to hear what Sarah had to say about the overtime and being able to just be a little more efficient on that front, just in general.
Is there any questions on the budget?
No, I appreciate you taking the time separate from this meeting to really.
To go over, yeah,
Go over it.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, any further discussion on the budget?
So can you just send us to me directly so I can look up the minutes?
Okay, well, I will make a motion to approve our 2026 E911 budget.
A second.
Okay, any further discussion? Who gets credit for the second? I don't know, it's pretty
I just beat
close.
him out.
Okay. The no taker wins. Okay, all in favor of approving the 2026 E911 budget, Lake County?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. So that closes out our new business and discussion. And Jeremiah, did you say you had minutes to approve?
Yeah, so I sent an email earlier to everybody with the minutes from June to October. And I would just ask for a motion to approve all of those unless anybody has any issues.
I'll make a motion to approve all of them.
I'll second. All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor of approving those months of minutes? I forgot what months.
All those.
As stated, yeah. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Yes, and we'll start getting those on
Okay,
agendas moving
Yeah.
forward, so we're doing every month.
perfect. Let's check schedules real quick. I think December 5th looks like the first Friday in December. We'll put that as our next meeting, 10 AM. Keep flowing with the monthly meetings.
Yeah, that seems to be working
necessary.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep everybody up to date and informed.
I will attend that one remotely.
Okay, alright, thank you so much. Alright, we'll adjourn the meeting, 1 minute after noon.